Hello there. As Winston Churchill once said, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Nicely said. I've been thinking about it lately. We human beings repeat our own mistakes from time to time. It's like falling into the same trap over and over again. That's not rational, right? But we aren't always close to that. And it's important to be aware of the things you should avoid, especially if it's not your first time struggling with them. Speaking of mistakes, this video is not usual. It's not about how to be productive, but the opposite. How to waste time and slowly ruin your life. Kind of a guide on what not to do. Okay? And by no means I created it to judge or make fun of people who have these habits. I mean it. It's serious, and I have personally struggled with some of the things from the list. So please don't take it as an insult. And before we jump to a full, science-based daily routine that can help you undermine your success and make you feel inferior, let's talk about what I believe it means to be productive. Productivity is about managing time, resources and energy in a way that maximizes output and minimizes waste. And it's not a one-size-fits-all thing actually. For example, I don't like video games, at least at this point of my life. And they even seem like a waste of time to me because I don't like them anymore and don't want to invest my time into it. But I wouldn't recommend you quitting. They may help you socialize with your friends and enjoy your free time, or maybe even earn money playing. That's totally up to you. See? But let's suppose by productivity I mean improving your health, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. So let's get to the beginning of the day. What does an average human being do in the morning? Wakes up, right? But we can do better than that. Science shows that sleep disruptions have substantial short and long-term health consequences. So what do we do? Again, I'm talking about the most unproductive daily routine. Of course, we should skip sleep as often as we can, and always change the time you go to bed. You fell asleep at 10 p.m. yesterday? Okay, let's spend the next day without sleeping and then go to bed at midday. Be random, be inconsistent, don't sleep much, alright? What else? Noise negatively affects sleep? No problem. When you finally randomly decide to sleep, open your door, windows, and be as close to the construction work next to your house. By the way, windows. Dark light cycle has a massive impact on our sleep. So when you do sleep, turn on the brightest light you have. And when you're awake, make your environment as dark as possible. Confuse synchronization of your inner clock with the light outside. There are much more tips on how to ruin your sleep, but that's enough for this time. Some other exciting things are waiting for us, like breakfast. There are dietary guidelines that can help you make your diet more balanced. We don't want that. Sugar consumption. You know how much sugar is recommended to consume daily? Actually, I don't, but you can look it up using the link for American Dietary Guidelines in the description. So double it and give it to the next person. After that, eat twice that amount. And the same goes to trans fats and other stuff you'll see there. In our case, it's the quantity we're chasing, definitely not the quality. Okay, we're done with breakfast and other meals. What about skincare? When it comes to self-improvements, it's often mentioned. Many people want to make their skin look healthy and great, but that's clearly not the case in this video. You've highly likely heard of cleansing, moisturizing, and sun protection, and if you want something a little more concrete, there is a well-known form of vitamin A called retinol. Studies show that retinoids can be effective in the treatment of aging and photoaging. Again, we don't want that, so we should never even consider skincare. Just keep your diet totally unbalanced and expose your skin to sunlight without applying sunscreen as often as you can. That's probably a recipe for a disaster in long term. Alright, we're doing a decent job. Now let's move to the part about working or studying. Firstly, a common sense thing. If you have a meeting with someone, or a lesson, lecture, a family dinner, never be on time. Always tell people you'll be there in 5 minutes and arrive no sooner than in half an hour. But if you're always 30 minutes late, that's too predictable and people will adjust. So be totally random. Sometimes cancel your meeting as late as you can and never apologize. But if you do feel bad, you can always come up with the most unrealistic excuse, like telling your friend who lives next door that the reason you came late was that you had a fire in your flat. He will clearly realize that it wasn't the case. He didn't see, smell or hear anything, but he will definitely learn that you're totally unreliable. There is a correlation between high-quality relationships and emotional well-being? Great, do the opposite. I'm sure previous tip will help you with that, but that's not enough. Become totally indifferent to other people. Never make compliments, never let people express their feelings and thoughts. Always talk about yourself. Let them know that you're far more important than them. Criticize anybody if you ever get a chance to. You don't like something, and you know this is strictly personal and totally unfair, Let everyone around you know that that person is dead wrong. And of course, spread false rumors about people and their families. Don't be shy, make jokes about the appearance of other people, even if you like them, and if by any chance somebody feels ashamed and insults you in response, make sure that you get your revenge. Always strike back, and even do something extra. Retaliation is important. If you meet a person who by any chance decides to solve the conflict between the two of you, remember that it's a trap. They just want to use you, right? It's unacceptable. And if you can't find anything you can use in order to make them feel bad, you always have an option to play even dirtier. Not gonna lie to you, it's too dark. Even as a guide on what I recommend not to do, it feels too bad. Let's move to the next topic. It's time to work. Coffee drinkers tend to move more during their day. We shouldn't gamble in our case. Physical activity is what we don't want. So caffeine is definitely not an option in the morning. But considering that according to another study, caffeine even 6 hours before going to bed may have a negative impact on your sleep, we should still use coffee, but only when we know we should get some sleep. Drink 3 or 4 cups at least, to make it last, and wait. You'll notice that you don't want to sleep anymore, but several hours later, you'll probably feel awfully exhausted. Caffeine crash. And last major tip, never manage your time. Your schedule should be chaotic and random. You're feeling a little productive and you know you can tackle a big project, take a pause and rethink your next actions. Do you really want it? Maybe you should procrastinate again? Yeah, that's correct. You've been scrolling social media whole morning instead of doing something urgent. Of course you can do it again. Take an unhealthy snack, open YouTube and enjoy. Your friend calls and invites you to hang out. Tell him that you'll be there in 20 minutes. But at the last moment, cancel it. Tell him that you're not home, even if he lives close and can see from the outside that the light in your room is turned on. And never prioritize anything. You know that time management was created for weak people, and you don't want to become one of them. So if you have one important and 10 totally unimportant tasks, and somehow you decide to do one of them, choose randomly. Alright, enough of that stuff. Let's sum up real quick. When it comes to productivity, there are lots of things to take into consideration. Sleep, diet, time management, social connections, and you can always dig deeper. This area is endless. And the point of this video is to show you that it's sometimes important not only to pay attention to things you should do, but also to mistakes, to the things you should avoid at all costs. Of course, this routine was exaggerated, but I believe it's important to know that it's okay to make mistakes and it's not that you do them matters so much, but how you solve and avoid them in the future. I truly hope this video is helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more, and definitely have a good day.